Welcome back to Horse Racing Today on Hump Day with Hollywood Hay as I try to turn off the music today. Pretty good stuff right there. Good morning. We're ready to roll. Yeah, I don't know what that says in Spanish. Let's translate that to English real quick.
Because what time does the show start?
Starting right now.
Yep.
Indeed. And let's see what this one says. Yeah, what time does the show start? It should start an hour before the first race. I don't say it. Well, it's tough to do that because of the scratches, because they don't come out to about an hour and a half before the first race. So then we have to adjust that into all of our picks. So makes it a little bit difficult. So we got 4 minutes, Terry, enough time to make our way through all the information available for race 1 at Churchill Downs today. So as you do, take it away.
All right, so it's a mile and 16th, and it's a $16,000 claiming race, purse $31,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Yes, and at a mile and a 16th, I think, if memory serves, there's 3 or 4 today at this distance. A mile and a 16th favors early speed 22% of the time. Emmett Smith goes wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bonus. 2 and 3 are best. 4 through 7 a discount. 8 and up gets a small bump, Mr. Terry, from a post position standpoint. We do 1,000 simulations around here. We want to know who has the best chance to get to the lead. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right here, Terry. Okay. We have the best chance to get to the lead. Comfort Zone measures how likely this race will mirror their best performances. Q30 scores, anything above 30 is worthy of some consideration. Par Plus, what percent of the time our simulations produced a speed figure of at least 78 in this case? And then finally, we want value. We want our picks to have morning post time odds to be higher than our simulation odds. All right, Terry, I got a little ahead of myself. Who's going to get the lead here?
Okay, it looks like it's anyone's guess because they're all pretty close. They all have some speed. The 1 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 also to 5 to 2. All but the 3 have Par Plus numbers. All of them have C zones, and the 1 has a really nice Q30.
Yes, does have that 33% score, according to James Quinn in his book, The Complete Handicapper. You can bet those blindly. They'll make you money over the long haul, he says, along with our simulations. All right, Richard, what are you doing today, my friend? All right. Along with our simulations, we also do trip handicapping. E-horses want to be on the lead, or pilots, as I call them. EPs can pilot or co-pilot. The Ps want to co-pilot. PCs are flight attendants anywhere on the plane. Closers want to sit and coach, make their way forward. These horses have not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. And here, of course, other first-time starters. The beginning of the race, the 4 looks like it can be a lone he if it can get to the front. Might have a little bit of work cut out for it, though, because plenty of the others show some early speed as well. At the end of the race, Trace Chick or Chic, that one has the most late speed, a little bit close to a length over Grace Given. Those 2 are your top total pace horses, well above the rest of the crowd. Terry, maybe just take the 1 and 2 and scratch the rest.
Yeah, it could be, but I like the 4. She won her last race at Churchill Downs. Best start speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage speed figure at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Grace Given, the 1's second choice, ran second versus tougher in her last race, drops in class. The 2 is my third choice, drops in class today. She has a high percentage winning trainer. And the 3 is my long shot. No trust. She finished third in her last race. No additional bets for me here.
Very quickly, because they're loading. Saranac Lake did run the top last race speed figure, that 4 horse, a lot better than anybody else, 9 points. Trace Chick, sim favorite, top Par Plus, class dropper, going to be closing. The 1 horse, Grace Given, class dropper, if they can just rewind back a couple of races, would be competitive for the win here. And then Fasta La Vista, baby, the Arnold Schwarzenegger horse. 3rd start after a layoff on a class drop, and they're off in racing. And right now, the 4 has the lone E-horse has found its way to the lead. We thought it had a pretty good shot to get to the lead there. That was our top choice, but weirdly running 3 wide, a little bit rank for Saranac Lake, the 2 horse. Trace Cheek is sitting in the co-pilot position with the 5 horse, Floris. That one in 3rd. The 1 horse, Grace Given, in 4th. The 6 horse, Fasta la vista, baby. The long shot sitting in fifth. And then way at the back of the pack is the 3-horse. Really not too far back, about 6 lengths off the lead of the 4-horse. The opening quarter in 24.66 seconds as the 1-4 favorite continues to set the tone early on. The 2-horse, again, riding in that shotgun position, stalking nicely, trying to move up upon the 4-horse. The 1-horse has moved into third. A little bit of separation from them, and the 5 is going backwards. The 3-horse looks like it's trying to chug its way in. It's kind of running a little bit hard. The 6-horse is going to try to make its way wide. Be a battle between the 6 and the 3 for fourth, perhaps. But the 3 front runners are separating from the pack. The 4-horse remains your leader. The 2-horse remains your third place horse. The 1-horse remains in third. The 1-horse does look like it's laboring a little bit. The 4-horse is accelerating away from the pack. It's going to go 4, 2, 1, I suspect, and then it's going to be a dogfight for fourth, but it does look like the 6-horse is going to wrestle that position away from the 3. 4, 2, 1, 6, then the 3, and then bump. Here comes the 4, 3, 6, 1, and then I think the 2-horse came. I don't think that was a 2-horse. I'm not sure. I can't see. What would that be? The 5-horse way back there? Probably the 5-horse.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at. So I think it went 4, 2. I think it went 4, 2. Yeah, 4, 2, 1, 6, 5. That's how it went. 4, 2, 1, 6, and 5. Not going to collect a whole lot on that one, Terry.
No, but that's all right. It's better than throwing your tickets down.
Yes, indeed, it is. Well, yesterday we had a couple like that at Parks. I mean, you on Monday, pick 4s, lit it up. Yesterday, pick 4s, you paid more than you got back.
Yeah.
Which is maybe not that last one, but the first one.
Yeah, the first one didn't pay much at all, but the second one that I got, it paid like about $250 or something like that. So kind of evened out for the pick 4s. Whatever you bet, you kind of got back.
Yeah, so it was an interesting day. The last 2 days at Parks were kind of interesting in that I think overall, what was it, 18 races?
Yeah.
I think, which is kind of weird, is that the top pick I had, I think, won 11 of the 18 races, but somehow I missed out on a bunch of pick 4s along the way. It's always funny how that works.
It is.
Yeah. Douglas, win the 4 with Gaffleon. Win the 4 in the first with Gaffleon. Who won the first? The 4 race. The 4 won at a lot. Paid. It was 1-4, so really not a whole lot of money to be made there. But as Terry says, better than throwing the ticket away. As far as free picks today are concerned, tonight, while you're sitting around waiting for Thursday night football, you can go ahead and try to fatten your bankroll over at Remington Park. I think a lot of horses there stood out when we were doing the handicapping yesterday. There is a link down in the description below. Please use that so they know where you're coming from. And when the show is over on horseracingtoday.net, you will find a recap of today's show, all of our notes, along with a replay. It'll be right there in the front and the center. And when you're there, hit that HRT gear. As I mentioned, winter is coming. There is definitely a bit of Jack Frost in the wind here in Chicago today. Get yourself a very comfortable hoodie. You can personalize it if you like a different color set. I don't really prefer that one. Kind of like that one doesn't look too bad. You could take the 6 off the back. You can put your name on there. Very customizable indeed. Race number 2, Terry, is next on our things to do. Tell us about this one.
All right. And in race number 2, we're going to go to a mile. It's a maiden claiming race of $100,000 per $62,000 for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
And it is key to note that the 1-turn mile is the race that they'll be running at Churchill Downs versus 2 turns. A lot of times 1-turn miles act a bit more like sprints than they do routes, so maybe a little bit more of an edge to front running types. And that's exactly what we see here in Louisville, because 1/3 of all winners at the distance find their way to the winner circle by being first to the quarter-mile marker. The rail is fair for about well time. 2 through 7 get a discount. The best place to be, Terry, is on the outside wearing an 8 or out. And in race number 2, are there any Buffalo girls on the outside early speed-wise?
Well, the 7's kind of got some speed on that outside, followed by the 8. But I think that 3 and 7 may go head-to-head to that quarter pole. The 1 has an overlay from about 7-5 to 3-1. All but the 3 and 8 have par plus numbers, and all but the 2, 4, 6, and 9 have C zones.
And I'm looking at 50% C zone. Only one of them, Anna's Promise, that 7 horse with that early speed. Pretty strong par plus, but not as strong as the 1 horse that also garners the simulation odds favorite status. Our trip handicapping, the 7 and 8 want to be on the front. The 1 horse is a pressure horse. The 5 and 6 want to close. The 3 horse so far in this maiden race has not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. The 2, the 4, and the 9 first-time starters of the horses with some experience. It sure does look like the 7 horse is the one that's going to get to the front at the end of the race. It sure looks like the 1 horse. The other one wants to get to the front. The 6 Super Maxim will be right there too. Number is almost the same as the 1 horse. From the experienced horses, it does look like the 1 horse 5 points clear of the 6 or the 7, Terry. Usually that equates to about 1 length. So according to this, if pace makes the race, like our good friend Chris Parmerloo says, the 1 horse deserves the sim odds favorite status.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with the 7, Anna's Promise. She ran second versus Tupper in her last start, drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and she can improve at this longer distance. Then the 5, G's Ulisse is the second pick. She drops in class today. She has a trainer who wins 18% of the races in a horse's second route race. And then I like the 1, Boutwell Time, the 1. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 18% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then 6, Super Maxima is the long shot, drops in class today and can improve while returning to dirt. The very first pick 4 I'm going to play, I'm going to use the 1, 5, 6, 7 with the 1, 3, 6 with the 4, 6 and finish up with the 1, 9, 10, 11, a $48 ticket.
Yeah, indeed. As far as tonight is concerned at Remington Park, just so you know, the way, Barry, I go through deciding which track gets the free status on any given day. When I do the handicapping, there's a couple of things that I look at. And when a horse grades out number 1, like across multiple categories, it will get a certain score in my systems. And then, of course, I go through and look at it by hand. And the track that ends up with the most horses that get multiple top scores ends up as the free track. I do think there will be a lot of horses that are at the top of the rankings for tonight that should show very well. In race number 2, I like the 7 horse too. Anna's Promise, Mr. Terry, did run the top last race speed figure, 7 points better than the next horse. And in the first race, the 4 horse was 9 points better. It's probably going to be your pace setter, does have that really high, strong comfort zone, and all of the race internals were better last time out, so maybe some continued improvement today. The 1 horse is your simulation favorite, is your top par plus horse, also taking a drop in class, and so far run 2 races at Churchill Downs, and really either one of them probably good enough to work for the win here. The 2 horse, Dance the Night Away. This one is a first-time starter. Terry gets 3 out of 3 stars from me. A 4 furlong back workout of 47 and 3. You know what that is, Terry?
Very fast.
Fast indeed. And then G's Eloise. That's your morning line favorite. It is a maiden special weight dropper, the biggest drop in all of horse racing. Does have some solid workouts between races, but I'm going to ditch that one from my pick 4 and hopefully hit a little bit of a price. I'm going to go with the 1, the 2, the 7, with the 3, 5, 6, 7. 4, 6, just like Terry in that third leg. So that'll be the linchpin for both of us. And then close it out with the 1, 2, 6, and 10. And I'm going to put $50 of my money to work here with 25 to win and place on the 7. That's $50 of my $100 budget for our Benny and the Bets. Terry, if folks want to make sure they don't miss out tomorrow at Aqueduct, because that's what we'll do tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday of next week at Parks. A week from today, we will do Churchill, again, Aqueduct on Thursday. There will be a Foreign Friday this week with Thomas. We'll cover something somewhere overseas to help us find some long shots. To make sure you don't miss any of that, Terry, what's the smartest thing you can do?
Oh, smartest thing is to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell. That'll tell you when these programs are coming up. And then go down and copy that link, share it with everybody you know so that they can come and check us out too. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and which are going right down there. And X at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. That helps us out quite a bit. And keep the comments and picks coming as we enjoy to see them. They also help us out with the algorithms.
Yes, indeed. Anytime there's any interactivity, that helps us boost our search engine optimization score. So when people search for horse racing picks or Churchill Downs picks or Parks picks or any picks for that matter, we'll likely rank higher than we do right now. Terry, hopefully we'll rank higher in everybody's opinion of us if we get race 3 right. So what are they racing for here?
All right, in race 3, we're going to go to a mile and 16th, and it's a claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, purse $31,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 3 races.
And the opener was a buck 16th on the dirt track, and we saw Early Speed win that one, wire to wire. Well, 22% of them prior to that have gone from gate to wire on the lead. Inside 3 bonus, the Red Horse won the first race, 2 and 3. Really, they are the best place to be. 4 through 7 get a discount, 8 and out, just a little bit of a tiny bonus. Again, Terry, speed's important. It's not the end all be all, but it's helpful. Who has the most of it?
Well, the most is a 7, but as you can see, they all have speed in here, and they're all pretty close to one another. So there's nobody that really stands out. So it's an anyone guess race, I think, who gets that quarter pole first. The 6 has an overlay from 7 to 5, 7 to 2. All but the 1 and 3 have par plus numbers, and all of them have C zones.
Look at this 6-horse rating here. SimFave, big time par plus opportunity. Second best in terms of your C zone. Could be a very nice setup for the 6. Let's see if it shows up that way here. Well, trip handicapping, everybody wants to be middle back, so it's kind of tough to tell who's going to do what, as we saw in our simulation. So if you get to the front in a race full of horses that want to be middle back, could have a good shot at winning. The 1 horse right here has some versatility as the lone PC. Anytime you see that, you really have to eyeball that horse hard because it could get an excellent trip. Mr. Moscato, like we saw in the simulations, is the most likely to take the early lead, but some competitive numbers to its inside. Might have to work too hard to get around that turn first. Could be trouble. Late speed, could it be magic? Mission River and Patch O'Brien are considerably better than the rest of the grouping in here. And then once again, we see 2 at the top, Terry. Mission River and Could It Be Magic, at least 5 points better than Mr. Moscato and Patch O'Brien. I think the 6 or the 3, Terry, they're pretty much the same. We just flipped them around. Why did you pick the 6?
All right, I like Mission River. He won his last race. So he has the highest speed, last race speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Could It Be Magic? The 3 second choice drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 1 Polar Bear Plunge as my 3rd choice. He drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 22% of the claiming races. He has a horse that he trains, competes in. And then 5 Patch O'Brien is my long shot. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 19% of the claiming races a horse he trains runs in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me in this race.
I'm going to start with the 3. Could It Be Magic today? Could It Be Magic is a class dropper, making the 3rd start after layoff, following more than a year on the sidelines. This is going to be a boom or bust race, Terry, so I'm going to put my backing on the boom. Number 6, Mission River, your top selection, also the top choice according to our simulation odds in there, Terry. Top par plus, top last race speed figure, chance to even be better than that in the 2nd start after the layoff. Patch O'Brien, the 5 horse, the 3rd selection for me, only horse that so far has produced a par race on the recent resume, but it has had a difficult go of it at Churchill Downs so far. I think 1 in the money finish out of 6 races. And then Mr. Moscato, the 7 horse, very likely to be your pace setter, did run better internals last time out, along with faster fractions. Almost always an indication of a horse that's coming into form. Race 4 is another pick 4 race for us, Terry. We'll get to our thoughts on that in just a minute. But before we do that, we have to go through all the preliminaries, including how you get into this race.
It's a 6 furlong race, claiming race, a $30,000 claiming price, and it's a purse of $56,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races, or 3-year-old fillies.
6 furlong profile of a winner, stalkers, so be middle forward. 26 out of 100 win on the front. Post positions, really no deal makers or deal breakers. They're predominantly fair, Terry. So really the only thing you're looking for is a horse with a little giddy up and go when they get going. Got a good shot with 2 of them right in here.
Yeah, the middle 2 has all the speed, the 3 and the 4. The rest of them show some kind of speed, but I think the 3 and the 4, if they get a good break, they're going to go head-to-head to that quarter pole. And that 3 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 3 to 1. And then let's see, all but the 1 have par plus, and all of them have C zones.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty competitive spot in here. Maybe the upset horse being very wealthy with that high Q30 score, just borderline under 30, fractionally. As far as our race shape is concerned, 3 is a lone E. If it can get to the front, might be very difficult to contend with as its confidence will grow. These 2, 4, and 5, they can pressure if they need, or they can be patient depending upon pace. 1 and 6 want to close. Yeah, this is a pretty open race, it feels like, Terry. Very wealthy, does have a length advantage when the gates open. Much quicker than the 2 horses to its inside, so the 3 should be able to break, get to the front. If it can control the fractions, that's its way to the winner's circle. Miss Jeopardy, along with Princess is Olivia. Baladri, Frango Electrico, pretty similar late speed, Terry. So early position from that grouping is going to be a key factor in which one can get to the finish line first. Princess is Olivia, Miss Jeopardy, Ballardy, they're 10 points better than the rest. The winner really likely to come from that group, Terry. How did you put them together?
I like the 4 Princess is Olivia. She has won 2 races in a row, goes for a hat trick, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 6 Miss Jeopardy, second choice, finishing the money in 3 out of the last 4 starts, winning 2 of those. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Boundary, the 5 is my third choice, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Her best dirt speed is fast among today's starter. She also has a high percentage winning trainer. The 3, very wealthy, is my long shot. She has finished in the money in 2 out of 4 starts, winning 1 of the races, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the second pick 4. I'm going to use 4-6 with the 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. With the 2-6, with the 1, 2, 4, 6, $48 ticket. And then I'm going to bet a $4 exact, a 4 on top, with the 3, 5, 6 in the second spot.
I too believe the 4 horse. Well, we have the same 4 horses in the same order. Princess Olivia, that one ran the best speed figure, 9 points above the next closest one last out. The rest have to come up, or that one has to come down. That one's likely to be even better today because it's cutting a furlong off a distance. Miss Jeopardy, the 6 horse, is making the classic third start after a layoff. The only other time this horse made it 3 races in a 3-race cycle, it was the best of the bunch. Does have a pair of maintenance workouts, so I see a bounce back race coming. If not, Ballardy, this one's an all or nothing type, Terry. 10 races, 2 wins. It really missed the board on everything else. So the way the wins come is when this horse is close to the lead, should be competitive for that spot today. And then finally, very wealthy. That one is likely to be your pace setter with the strongest C zone. We've seen way too many of those horses, Terry, end up in the winner's circle. And this one is an overlay as well. Maybe should have flipped that one in front of the 5 with that all or nothing resume.
Yeah.
My pick 4 is 4-6 over the 1, 2, 6, 10 over the 1, 2, 6. Over the 1, 2, 4, 6. So I guess I can go 6, 6, 6, 6 across the board. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. 10 races on the card today, Terry. So we'll talk about the 5th one now.
All right. Well, we're going to 6.5 furlongs, and it's a maiden claiming race, $30,000 claiming price, purse $50,000 for maidens 2-year-olds.
Yay! A maiden claiming for $30,000. Probably one at the lower levels at Churchill for 2-year-olds. So you know what that means, right, Terry?
You don't know who's going to win.
You have no idea what's going to happen.
No.
So at 6.5 furlongs, so far we know that 1 out of 4 horses that get to the front, they win. Usually horses that are forwardly placed break their maidens that way. So speed could be key here. A little bit of a rail discount for vodka and ginger ale. 2 through 7 get a bonus. 8 and out's really bad. I think nowadays people pair up the vodka with like Red Bull instead. So that would be the name of my horse, vodka and Red Bull. But in any case, Terry, a lot of these horses really kind of making their first starts or second starts. So the data here is kind of spotty. But from what we see, we do have a few that look like they're fast.
Yeah, that 5 should get there if it gets a good break, but if not, the 9, 10, and 11 show some speed, and the 9 and 11 could go head to that quarter pole. 2 has an overlay from 11 to 1 to 12 to 1. 3 has an overlay from 10 to 1 to 15 to 1. The 12 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 8 to 1. And then the 10 and 12 have the only par plus numbers, and all 5, 9, 10, 11, and 12 have the C zones, and the 11 shows 100% Q30.
Yeah, which is meaningless again because a lot of the data here is sparse. So you see here this whole host of horses making their first start. The 9 and the 10 so far, they've really struggled to be close to the winner at the finish line. 5 and 11, they pressed. The 12 closed, so maybe those horses have a shot to improve. Ace on the Turn is the quickest of the horses that have had some experience so far. Not too far behind it, Stay Gold Pony Boy, and really all of them except the 12 that have run pretty similar early speed. So a lot of room to improve for everybody in here. Mr. Rosso, that 12 horse, a huge late race advantage over everybody else that has any experience. It's also your top total pace horse in here, Terry. Anyway, this race I think is pretty wide open. Tell us why you started with the first timer.
Well, I liked vodka and ginger ale because his dam has six winners out of 7 starters. The breeding suits today's distance, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. So he marks a lot of boxes off. Then the 9 Real Conviction, second pick, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 19% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race, and has a high percentage winning jockey. The 10's my third choice, has a high percentage winning trainer. He switches to high percentage winning jockey and can improve while returning to a sprint, and his best start speed is fast among today's starters. Then I like number 12, Mr. Rosso, as my long shot, ran second his last race, has a trainer, wins 28% of the races in the second career race a horse has, and they added blinkers today to keep his mind on business.
Well, in this race, none of the experienced horses have a par race on their resume. So that means you got to go, in my opinion, with mostly first-time starters. That's why I settled on vodka and ginger ale. Gets 3 of my 3 stars. It means it's got good training for debuts, good workouts, good breeding. In fact, it does have a back bullet workout it was about 47 seconds and change for 4 furlongs. But the rail, that is the question mark. Spinard, the 2 horse, that one gets 2.8 out of 3 stars. First timer has some pretty good workouts prepping as well. Piquant, the 10, is the best of the experienced horses, in my opinion. A bounce back race coming in the maiden special weight drop. And then finally, Bonafide Crazy. That one, the workouts are there. The trainer is solid in debuts as well. The only question mark is the breeding, but none of them really are standout breedings-wise in here. This is not supposed to be $10. That's supposed to be $1. I would use up all of my bonus with that. Just pop the 0 in there somehow. I don't know. Maybe you should make it $10 now, but I'm going to do 1, 2, 6, and 10 because I feel like this is a wide open race. And if you catch the trifecta, it probably makes you profitable on the $100 budget for the day from top to bottom. Code 1 can only come in with the 10, the 2, not the 9. All right. Well, I got that in there, Sonardi. So that fits in there perfectly. Do we have time to do race number 6, Terry?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we got 4 minutes, so we can make our way through race 6. Let's get started.
Okay, race 6 a mile. It's a claiming race, $20,000 claiming price, $50,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Yes, indeed. And to get that second W at a mile, again, 1-turn mile, where it acts a lot more like speed than it would a route. Speed is a good way to get to the winner's circle because 33%. Tony Dorsett going wire to wire. The post positions, the rail is fair. 2 through 7 get a discount. 8 and out, the best place to be, particularly if you're fast, Terry. Well, there's a few on the outside with some speed, but once again, maybe a competitive start.
It is, as you see there, they all have speed, and there's 3 or 4 of them that show similar speed. So it's just another one who knows going to get there. Just depends on the good break and a good jockey decision. And number 2 has an overlay of 5-2 to 7-2. 3 has an overlay from about 6-1 to 12-1. 5 has an overlay between 4.5 to 1 to 10-1. The 9's overlay is from about 7-2 to 15-1. All but the 1, 7, and 8 show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Mm-hmm. Our race set up 4-9 forward, everybody middle back. So, hey, you can get to the front. You got a good shot to stay out there because a lot of these horses want to be patient and deliver their best at the end. The beginning, more than 5, that 2 horse. Well, look at that, Terry. That's what we call a left arrow horse, a horse that usually wants to close with enough early speed to be in contention. Won't forget how to close out a race today. At the end of the race, we do see more than 5 has a lot of late speed relative to the rest of the field. The 2, the 9, and the 3, much better than the rest. Our top total pace horse in here is the 2 horse. 4 points better than Luminaire, a few points better than Round Ball Rock. Our top 4 usually produces close to 3 out of 4 winners. Terry, this one is your best bet of the day.
It is, and I'm going with number 6, Dr. Kringle. He ran second his last race. He has the highest last race speed rating. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then I like the 2 more than 5, finished third in her last start as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 25% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. 3, Round Ball Rock is the third choice, won his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. The 1, God of Wine, drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play 16 to win, 20 to place on number 6. I'm going to play a $6 exact, a 6 on top with a 1, 2, 3. $2 double. I'm going to play the 6 with all. Then I'm going to go with a pick 3, 50 cents, 6 on top with the 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 with the 6, 8.
There you go. Hoping for some long shots in the middle there. Hopefully that comes to pass. I think the 2 horse is the one to top here today. It is our sim favorite. It's also our top par plus horse. It's been off since May, so that's the question mark right there. Been solid off the bench with a decent series of workouts prepping. Number 6, Dr. Kringle, is another coming off the bench. It is absolutely 1,000% a horse for the course. In the money, 6 out of 7 starts there in Louisville. You put that horse at any other track a dozen times, only collecting a check 2 times. Also the top Churchill Downs numbers. Number 1, God of Wine, usually comes off the bench ready to rock and roll, and today taking a class drop on that rock and roll race. And then finally, Luminaire, the 9 horse, was a very tough call for me over the 3. But when you look at the early pace, you look at the late pace, you look at the sim odds, all of them favor the 9 over the 3. But, you know, in your exactas or trifectas, if you want to go deeper, I would suggest adding the 3 in there too. And if your budget's bigger than ours, maybe put it in your pick 3, pick 4s as well. And one quick thing you can do to help us out is give us right now, if you're watching on YouTube, grab your mouse right here. See, here's your mouse. Just click on the like button on YouTube. That'll help us a lot, or thumbs up with their algorithms. If you're watching us on Twitter, just kindly hit that retweet button. So everybody else that's thinking about Churchill Downs today will be able to find our show in just a minute as they're about to load up for race number 2. And another thing that they'll learn is that they can get free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet tonight. I do think there's a lot of good horses with a lot of good chances to win at the top of our rankings. You can get the link in the description on YouTube, as well as when the show's over. You can get all of our picks, our thoughts, along with the race replay, horseracingtoday.net. And as always, kindly click on the HRT gear. Again, the winter's coming. Get yourself a very comfortable hoodie. I think you'll find it to be very useful, and you will look the best you've ever looked. We FDIC ensure that. 2 groups of numbers today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, and the other one, 2, 1, 5. Well, if you take half the horses in every field, I think you probably got a pretty good chance to find a winner in there. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. That usually works. I mean, you got at least a 50% chance, right?
Yeah.
And then based on odds, it could be better than that. All right, so race number 2, looks like they're all loaded up and ready to go. And indeed they are. So let's, I don't want to hear the announcer here. So as they get off and running, this front view is really hard to tell who's going to do what. But in race number 2, it does look like the 9 horse doing something that is different for this horse, and that's heading out to the front. The 7 horse, Anna's Promise, the one that we thought would be on the front, is on the front. Both of them look like they have a pretty easy hold on their horses. It doesn't look like they're really running very hard. Be interested to see what the opening fractions are. The 7 horse is 7-2 right now. The 1 horse is also 7-2. The 1 horse is stalking in the 3rd position. Behind them, it looks like the 8 horse is going to have a wide trip. They went through the opening quarter probably a little bit quick, 46.5 seconds for the opening half, probably a little bit faster than I want that 7 horse to run as my 25 to win and place horse. So I'm going to have to find a little bit room in here for that horse to relax. The 1 horse is looking good. The jockey is all out on the 2 horse already. I don't know what the hell the cameraman's doing. Must have gone out drinking last night because he's zooming in and zooming out. Down around the bend, they come for home. It does look like the 7 horse does have some run left in him. The question is, does he have enough run to hold off the 1? I don't know that that's going to be the case. I'm just hoping that he has enough run left in him to hold off everybody else for second, because there's got a whole horde of horses that are trying to make their way to the finish line first. 1725, Terry, 1725. We're both alive in our pick 4s. The 1 horse was our top par plus horse, was our simulation odds favorite. Again, we got the superfecta here. I sure would have liked that 7 horse to have won at 7-2, but I do think at 7-2 with $25 on the play side, I should come close to getting back my $50, I would think. What do you think?
Yeah, I do, especially since the 1 was 7-2 too, so he wasn't a hard favorite. It's not going to affect the place as much. So
yeah, the 5 was the favorite horse in there. And there we go.
The 1 just barely beat the 7, maybe by a quarter length.
Yeah, I feel like if the fractions were a little bit slower early on, that the 9 horse St. Albans Raid coming out unexpectedly to push that early pace probably made it run about a half second faster than it needed to. And that was probably the difference in that race right there, right?
Yep.
All right, so we got some Parks picks right here from Private Ross 99, race 5, the 5 to 7 and 8, the race 6 to 7, race 7 to 7, race 8 to 5, race 9 to 7, race 10 the 8. So for the most part, picks of integrity from Private Ross. And if you have any picks that you want to share with us, please do so. I got a lot of winners in your comments yesterday. Those were cryptography. All right, thank you. We're glad for that. Churchill has 2 groups. We went through that already, so hopefully those are right. If you have some thoughts about any track around the globe, let us know in the comment section. We're always interested. If you have a handicap angle that's working at any particular track that you've discovered, you have a friend that's given you hey, you want to bet on this one, please tell us about it in the comment section. We'd appreciate it. We're off to race 7, which begins the late pick 4, Terry, as we both gleefully win the first race for our pick 4. How does this one get started?
Well, it's 7 furlongs. It's a maiden race, $92,000 purse. It's for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
And there are those 2-year-olds again, Terry. We just love those, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, it's a great way to start a pick 4 for sure. To get a little bit of an edge, though, again, speed, a little bit more than 1 out of 4 wins on the front. A little bit of a rail discount for It Will Be Fun. 2 and 3, that's the best place to be. 4 and out, they're discounted as well. And the farther you are from the rail, the more of a discount you get. So really, Terry, looks like you want to be inside speed once again for race number 7. And do we find any of that in our simulations?
Not really. The most speed is that 10 horse on the outside there. So it should get to that quarter pole, except for it's got some inside speed that might just make it harder for him. But the 1 has an overlay from 3-1 to 7-2. The 5 has an overlay from 12-1 to 15-1. 8's overlay is 10-1 to 12-1, and the 10 has an overlay from about 4-1 to 20-1. Nice one. All but the 3 and 9 have par plus numbers, and all but the 2, 5, and 8 have C zones, and the 1 and 11 have pretty nice Q30s.
Yeah, you have to probably focus on the 1 over the 11, but you can't ignore either one of them. But the 11 has a better C-Zone, the 9 horse, a strong C-Zone, well above everybody else. The 10 horse with a chance to get to the front. These 2-year-olds, well, anything can happen with 2-year-olds anyway. Looks like that's really the case in the 7th race today. 2, 5, and 8. Well, today's their first day at the track. The 3 and the 10, despite that early speed, the 10 has not been within 5 lengths of the leader. 4, 6, 7, and 9 showed more interest at the end of the race than the beginning of the race so far. Pressure horses with the 1 and the 11. If you want some early speed, Poverty with a View does look like it is the quickest of the bunch. But look at this, Terry. All of them within 10 points of each other. So you get caught wide, you get bumped. There's a lot of ways you can end up getting messed up early on. The end of the race, here the Queen, along with It Will Be Fun, the most late speed, about 3/4 of a length better than the rest of the field. There also are our top 2 total pace horses, the 6 and the 1, and then a pretty big drop off from there. So maybe the 1 and 6, throw in maybe one of the first-time starters and one of your favorites in this mix of horses right there. Terry, tell us how you went about making your selections.
Well, I like the 4 Global Allure. She ran second versus similar on the turf in her only start, and she has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. It Will Be Fun. The 1 is my second choice, finished 4th in her last start as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 18% of the races. When bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a nice workout on November 1st at 4 furlongs. Then I hear the Queen is the 6 horse, third choice, has a high percentage winning trainer, and Switch is a high percentage winning jockey. The 2 is my long shot. She's a first time starter who's has 5 winners from 6 starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 22% of the dirt starts a horse he trains competes in, and she has a good workout on November 3rd at 4 furlong. The last pick 4 I'm going to play is a 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 with the 1, 3, 6, 8 with the 2, 5. Finish up with the 1, 4, $48 ticket.
Well, one thing's for sure, Terry, we both can't win because you have the 1, 4. I have the 5, 10 at the back end. And I feel like one horse on the back is going to be tough. Or 2 horses, because I felt like all 4 races in this series, you can go 4 or 5 deep and then still might miss the winner. If not, I like the 1 horse here. It Will Be Fun. Hopefully it wins. That would be fun. Some really good workouts between races, and did have a par race in the debut. Here the Queen, the 6 horse. That's next up for me. Just needs second race, typical second race improvement. That would be enough to find the winner's circle. Cuvee Creed, the 2 horse. That is that first-time starter you mentioned there, Terry. It's the best of the first-time starters, in my opinion. Gets 2.8 out of 3 stars. And then finally, Global Allure. It's another horse with a second race improvement. Could put her in the winner's circle. I went 1, 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 8, 1, 2, 4, 5. And as I already mentioned, the 5 and the 10 in the back end of my pick 4. 3 races to go. That means next up is race number 8, if my math is right.
That's right. It's a mile and 16th, and it's a allowance race, $50,000. Purse $72,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $50,000 or less, or which have broken their maiden in a maiden auction race, and which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming or waiver claiming.
So at a mile and a 16th, we saw that in the first race. We'll see it in the third race upcoming. Early speed, the best way to get to the winner's circle. A little less than 1 out of 4 winning on the front. There is an inside 3 bonus. 2 and 3 better than the rail. 4 through 7 are discounted. 8 and out, just a small positive bump, Terry. So if you're on the inside 3 in race number 8, you have a better chance than most. And, well, that's where most of the speed is today.
It is. That 1, 2, and 5 show the most speed on the inside there. Followed up with that 3. They could all go head-to-head to that quarter pole, see who can get there first. That 3 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 8 to 1, and the 4 has an overlay from 4.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. All but the 7 show par plus numbers, and all but the 7 show C zones.
Yes, and again, on the comfort zone, we prefer a score over 50%, so 3 of them garnering a chance to run at or above par for this level, which according to the folks at Brisnet is 91, which is a pretty good speed rating, pretty much any track. Looking at our race shape, really no pure front runners in here, Terry, or co-pilot pilot types. Everybody else sort of middle back, so maybe a tightly bunched group in here. Getting to the front could offer good tactical early race advantage. Lucency. I have no idea. Lucency. There you go. Along with the Thunderer, Badge of War. Again, a lot of horses very tightly packed up in here. Any one of them can really get to the front. Interlock Empire looks like the only one that won't really try to chase for position early on. That's because it has a lot of late speed, about a length and a half faster than everybody else. As far as our top total pace picture, once again, the top four usually produces the winner. But in this case, Terry, there's only 8 points separating top to bottom. You better get good position. You better not be wide. And you certainly better get out of the gates with some urgency. Otherwise, you could be first or you could be worst. Who's your first pick?
I like the 8, Apollo Rising. He ran second in his last start. As a trainer, wins 26% of the dirt starts. He has a horse he trains, competes in, and he has the highest last speed rating. Then I like 6, Unstable Prince. He has finished in the money in 9 out of the last 10 starts, so very competitive horse, winning one of the races, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Curlin's Jester, the 1 is my third choice. He has won 2 races out of the 6 career race starts, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 3, the Thunderer, is my long shot. Has won 4 races out of the last 6 starts, winning one of the races. And he has the best dirt speed, the fastest among today's starters. I don't have any money left, so I can't make any bets.
I think the 8-horse Apollo Rising is also the horse to beat in here. Did run the top last race speed figure after a little bit of time in the barn. So expect to see that number moved higher in the second race after a layoff. Lucency. I didn't want to pronounce that one again, but I guess I'm going to have to. Most back class, the only time he ran at Churchill Downs, won with ease, and it was at today's distance. Curlin's Gesture, the 1 horse, my third selection in here, did show much better early pace and fractions last out. Very consistent performer. And then finally, the Thunderer. That one is our simulation favorite in here, Terry. And if it could just run back one race, could find the winner's circle as well. No bets for me either. Race 9 is the beginning of the late pick 4. One late daily double. What the hell am I talking about? And yet another one at a mile and a 16th. So 4 of these to look at today.
Yeah, and it's the second allowance race. It's a $127,000 purse. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter, or which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, by now you can recite chapter and verse with me. Early speed, about 1 out of 5 winning on the front, just a touch better than that. Inside 3 is really the best place to be. 8 and out, that's fair. 4 through 7, a little bit more difficult than the other post positions. So some inside speed could be very useful in here, Terry. And it looks like one of them on the inside, it's a lot quicker than the rest.
That's right. That 2 has the most speed on the inside. And so it should get a good break, get to that quarter pole first. The 1 has an overlay from 3-1 to 4-1. 3 has an overlay from almost 4-1 to 10-1, and the 9 has an overlay from 3-1 to 20-1, which is pretty nice. 1, 3, 4, 9, 10, and 12 have the par plus numbers, and all but the 6 show C zones.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of them above 50%. As I mentioned at the start of the pick 4, these races are all wide open. The last 4 to close out the card, pretty balanced here. You got 3 that want to be on the front, 3 in the middle. Most of the horses want to be middle back. Speed is the way. So again, get forward. You got a chance. Connive. It is a little bit quicker than Little Jamie on the inside. So it might have to hustle a little bit to get in front of Little Jamie, but not a whole lot. 2 should get to the front, should do so without really pushing. Jose Ortiz really good at getting horses out of the gate as well. Brody Ferry, that is your top total late pace horse in here, but really not a lot of difference between any of them except the 11 horse. So maybe you can just put a line through the 11 as if though it was scratched. This looks, again, Terry, like anybody can win this race. Look at all of these very similar total pace scores. The 1, 2, 3, and 5 get the best of it. Again, more often than not, about touch under 75% of the time, the winner comes out of that grouping. Terry, you like the 5.
I do. Tweetstar ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Connive, the 2 is my second choice, has finished in the money in 2 out of 2 career starts, winning one of the races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Roddy Ferry, the 3 is my third choice, finished in the money in the last 4 starts, won one of those races and ran second versus similar in the last race. Leo Toro, the 7 is my long shot. She finished third versus similar on the turf. Her last race, can improve while returning to dirt, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races when taking a horse from the turf to the dirt. No additional bets for me as I'm out of money.
I'm going to go with the price horse, the 2 horse on top, Connive. This is making just its third career start. The debut, if it would have built off of that, might have been your favorite here. This horse has a really fast workout. I think you'll see a bounce back race coming in the third career start today, maybe even a career best effort. If not, Tweedster, the 5 horse, that one will be difficult to contend with. Been highly consistent so far, and last time out ran at this level and just missed. So really not a whole lot of improvement required. Little Jamie, the 1 horse, that one dropping from a trio of stakes races, 2 of which were graded. So really facing the lightest company that it has in a bit. And then finally, the 4 horse Chilled. That one ran the top last race speed figure. 5 points better than the next closest horse. It would have been a tie with the 6, but that one scratched and does have a pair of very fast workouts between races. Look out for that one. No bets for me either. That takes us to the last race of the day. But before we talk about that, again, tomorrow, Terry, we will be back. We'll do Aqueduct, head off to the Big Apple. And to make sure you don't miss anything at the Big Apple tomorrow, Terry, what's the best course of action?
Well, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything, and they don't bug you.
Actually, it makes you money. Hell, you started the week with about $5,000 in winnings.
That's right. That's right. You did. And then after you do that, hit that bell. That's going to let you know when all these programs are going to come. Go down and copy that link at the bottom so other people can come and take a look at us when you share it with them. Go to our social sites at X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and one other one, TikTok, at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us thumbs ups and likes. That helps us out a lot. And then keep these comments coming in picks. You know, we like to see them. We enjoy it, and it helps us out a lot, and both personally and it helps us out with our algorithms.
Yes, indeed. And it's the only place you can get a lot of the data that we provide. Nobody else makes it. And I got some good news. I am this close to getting all of this data available at any track at any time. You can see right here, it's all there. This is for race number 10, how it all stacks out. Just got a couple of things I want to add that I should be able to get in by the weekend. And then from there, it's just go ahead and produce it. We'll put it up for sale somewhere. We'll let you know. But it is exclusive data that you can't get anywhere else that helps us identify some great prices. And I think you'll find over and over again our simulation odds, as well as horses that hit par plus, that do have some par races on the resume, that showed some improvement of late, that fit in their comfort zone with where they're supposed to be on the track, along with their top total pace figures, identifies a lot of winners in there, Terry. Let's go about trying to identify who's going to win in race number 10. Get it started.
Okay, it's 6 furlongs, maiden claiming race, $20,000 claiming price, purse $42,000 for maidens, fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
We're going to do Aqueduct tomorrow, Typhoon Y. Is there a particular track that you want for Turkey? If so, let me know, and I will make it the free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet just for you, so that when we come out to your resort in Turkey, we are treated like the kings that we are, Terry. For sure. And today, just so you know, Remington Park is the free track. A link again in the description below. Make sure you use that so they know where you're coming from. So in race number 10, they're going to run a 6 furlong affair. Stalkers do great. 26% of the time, the horse that's on the lead stays there, collects the checkered flag and the big check. Post positions are fair, so you really don't get any advantage. It's a wide open race here, Terry. So let us know which horse might have the early race advantage.
Well, as you see there, they all have speed except for a couple of them, and so it's anyone's guess race again. Although that 5 might get out there, maybe the 12. The 5 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 4 to 1, and the 12 has an overlay from 5 or 7 to 2 to 6 to 1. And then 5 and 12 have the best par plus numbers, and 1 and 9 have the best C zones.
Again, wide open affair here. So do we have any advantages from a race shape structure wise? Not really. Pretty balanced. The 1 and 8, they've not been within 5 lengths. The 8 horse is going to give it a go for the first time. The 9 horse may be an advantage. And here, Streets of Paris is the lone P horse. Anytime you get what we call a Sesame Street horse, one that doesn't look like any of the others, it is worthy of some consideration. In this wide open race, Tis Sweet Emotion has the most early speed, but a lot of it to its inside. So again, might have to work to get to that front. Might not matter though, Terry, because it is one of the best late pace horses, although none of these horses showing what I would call sterling late race ability. But nonetheless, you sometimes can't pass what you can't catch. Tis Emotion in a wide open race has a 9-point total pace advantage. That's usually enough to consider at the top of your ticket. At the very minimum, I know you like this betting style. The 5 horse might go off at decent odds. Maybe put that one in an exact key box with everything else. And if it finishes first or second with a long shot tied to it, you can make a lot of money, Terry. What do you think?
Well, you might just do that. But I like the 4 Bam Bam. She ran second versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 19% of the maiden claiming races, and that has a horse in. And she has a high percentage winning jockey, and she has a good workout on November 4th. Or November 2nd, 4 furlong. Then I like the 1 Prince Pom Pom. She ran third versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating. Then I like the 5 as my third pick, Tis Sweet Emotion. She drops in class today and can improve at the shorter distance. Number 6, Stagflation is my long shot. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. That's it for me today.
The 5 horse, Tis Sweet Emotion, the Aerosmith horse. They may not be able to go on tour, but this one can go to the winner's circle. Does have that top total pace. That is 9 points better than the next closest horse. Does drop in class here. That's a plus. And is your simulation favorite? I can go with all of that. The 10 horse. Why do I have the 10 horse in here and he's not in the race theory? That's not good, is it?
No, it's not. You need to change that.
So I need to change. I also need to change my pick 4 then, because I had the 10 in there. So let me go about changing my picks. I'm going to go then 5 and then 1, then 12, and then the 9 horse. All right. So that's the way we're going to go about doing that. Fortunately, I have notes for the 9 horse in there. I will change. Hold on. Let me go here. Race 10. So this has got to be $1 trifecta box 1, 5, 9, and 12. And then my pick 4 here has got to be, instead of the 5, 10, just the 5 and the 1. So thankfully, I just have to delete a 0. Everything else now is accurate, thanks to the scratches. I don't know what I was thinking, but the 5 horse, as I mentioned, has a great shot with that big total pace advantage. Prince Pom Pom now rolls into that second spot, just like Mr. Terry. Showed significant improvement last out. If it can keep that trend, has a really good shot of overtaking my 5 horse. Proud Divvy is now the lone maiden special weight dropper with enough early back speed to contend. If it can repeat 2 of its 5 races so far, that one probably would find the winner's circle. You know what I'm going to do here, Terry? And I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because it becomes now, the only reason I didn't rank it higher is because it was not the lone maiden special weight dropper. So I'm about to go change my tickets, folks. And that means you can just go ahead and put the 1 in the winner's circle, because anytime I did that with Charles, it was 100% a winner. And then finally, the 9 horse is that lone P horse that we talked about, that Sesame Street horse. Ran better fractions last time out with better early speed. Got a good chance to continue to improve today. I went about changing all of my bets, but it doesn't really change my trifecta box of the 1, 5, 9, and 12. Wish the 10 was here, but it's not. So we're going to part with that. Again, with me taking the 12 and moving it in front of the 1, you can absolutely count on the 1 horse winning this race, and probably with ease. Here are our total picks for today, Terry, so far. Got the superfecta in both races. Hopefully we can do that all the way down the card. I think that would be close to a miracle. Any final thoughts from you before we part today?
Yeah, just keep safe today, and have a great day and a great rest of the week. You don't know, treat everybody really nice, because you don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to affect their day. And anyway, just see you tomorrow.
Yes, hopefully we can affect your day positively with some free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below. Please use that so they know you came or referred by our show. We would appreciate that. When the show's over in just a minute, we'll post our picks, our thoughts, along with a race replay over at horseracingtoday.net. And Terry and I would greatly appreciate it if you went over to horseracingtoday.net, click that HRT gear, get yourself a hoodie, a hat, a t-shirt, a coffee mug, a cooking apron, all sorts of different things available, even a sticker that you could put on your bumper. We'd appreciate that. Maybe we should run for president, Terry. Then millions of people would put our sticker on their bumper.
Yeah.
As always, folks, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this Hollywood Hump Day, we certainly hope that your endeavors, your life's goals and dreams are filled with God's grace, God's favor. And hold on, before we get out of here, we got a couple more comments.
Yeah.
From saying Terry loves you, Terry. WhatsApp. He wants you to call him on his WhatsApp. All right. Before we do that, though, Terry, we hope that everything you do for the rest of this day ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you tomorrow for Terrific Terry Thursday at Aqueduct.